Q4C Extras, Spooktacular Bay. This, listen, you guys have seen me do some awful, awful, disgusting builds. This is probably the worst one of all. But it works. It works, like, shockingly well. So, strap in, because this is going to be a weird one. Place down a slow and weaken aura down there. Place down a slow and weaken aura right next to this crystal as well. And then place down a weaken aura somewhere in this general area like that. I can already tell a bunch of you are thinking I'm kind of weird. You haven't seen nothing yet, alright? Trust me. Then go onto your Huntress. Of course, this is one of my beep builds, so we're going to dump a gas trap. And then not just one gas trap, we're going to actually dump down 2 gas traps. One of them on this fence. That's a bit of foreshadowing for the people who are thinking about what the hell I'm about to show you. Then we're going to go onto our EV, and we're going to put a 5DU buff beam right here on this plank. I used to have it up towards this corner, but I found that you kind of need to have it over here, because otherwise your towers can't focus on the ogres that come from that direction. Anyways, once you place that down, place down a 1DU reflector here. Not to protect the crystal, but to protect yourself in the future. Again, you'll see in a moment. Collect the mana. Don't forget to collect the mana. I have... You get 180 seconds to build everything. I have more often than I'd like to admit failed to build everything because I just forget about the fact that I need to collect mana. And then I just have to scramble for chests. Anyways, place a 1DU reflector there. And then place a... if you go up here, you can place a tower buff beam. Like that. Yeah, you can see where I'm going with this. We're going to place our towers on there. All right. Then bring out the Hermit. For the first wave, we can't place everything. So for now, just dump down a Nature Pylon somewhere around there. And then go all the way over here and dump down a Nature Pylon and a Golem somewhere around the point where I am here. Don't place the Nature Pylon too far to the right. Otherwise, Vins will destroy it potentially. But with a gas trap, it might not be an issue, but I don't know. I wouldn't risk it. Anyways, bring in your Warden, and on your Warden, you're going to place down a Cloud Tower, 4 Wisp Dens, and a Shroom Pit. Cloud Tower facing towards the Crystal, 4 Wisp Dens. And then get the rest of the mana over here. And now we're going to go over to the right side Crystal, and we're going to place down 2 Cloud Towers, 4 Wisp Dens, and a Shroom Pit. So, Shroom Pit, 2 Cloud Towers, 1 facing towards the Crystal, and then the other one also facing towards the Crystal. And then 1, 2, 3, 4... And that's it. Now we have 8 DU, which is just enough to place down a Forest Golem once we have the mana for it. Press G and continue. Very quick bit. If you don't have the stats that I do, you can either move this Strength Drain Aura farther to the right, or upgrade that buff beam earlier. That way that it covers this plank. It needs to cover this plank, otherwise enemies will not get hit by the gas trap. Anyways, make sure you upgrade these buff beams as soon as you can. Here's the stats, by the way, on the character. Pretty alright. Nothing too crazy. It works fine. That's about as much as there is to say. It does the job. It's not particularly fast. This completion will not be fast, efficient, or I mean, it'll be easy, but it won't be good or fast or efficient. It's pretty much par for the course for any of my builds. I will say, by the way, while I am mentioning, you know, if you don't have my stats, you guys have my stats. I have seen some of your taverns, all right? The person who won my giveaway, I went to your tavern, right? I gave you the Boneyard Blade. You had, like, rows upon rows of your tavern just filled with 500 upgrade alt++ weapons on the ground. And I'm sitting there like, what the... Why are you watching me? What information are you able to gain from my noob videos if you're already like that deep into endgame? Anyways, now then, let's move on to the Summoner. This part, you don't need to go as hard as I'm about to go here, but I will go super hard. So, place down over here a wall of spiders. I do 4 spiders, but as long as it's a wall and there's more than one, you should be fine. Spiders are to increase the DPS. Then place down 4 or 3 golems. Not golems, what is it called? Ogres. I'm going to place down 4 because it kind of feels like the right number, but you can definitely do just 3 and get away with it. I will, the ogres, they're not going to deal much damage, but they are actually just to block the other ogres. So let me explain once I gather a bit more mana here. So what we're doing here is, up in this top section right here, you will have ogres spawn, and those ogres will eventually get down to this area here, because these towers get webbed a lot, those ogres will get down there, and then they will start beating the shite out of the towers. And at least with my stats, I can't sustain that. All right, my towers will go down. It'll take a long time, and I'm sure if I just upgraded my towers using an initiate, they wouldn't go down, but I'm not doing that. So my towers eventually go down, and to avoid that being a problem entirely, I'm just placing down the wall of ogres and 4 mage minions. And then over here, I'm also going to place down a mage minion and a bunch of archer minions. I don't remember how many mage minions. Probably like 2 mage minions and then the rest arch minions. I don't remember the exact numbers, but let's see if I remember correctly. 2 mages, and then if we do the archers right, it should be max TU. I don't think this stack of archers and mages is necessary, but I have found that in one of my previous completions, we ran into a problem where a Jin was up here and he destroyed this gas trap. It didn't end the run, but it most certainly could have. So to avoid any kind of chicanery in the future, I'm just placing down that stack of minions. Anyways, swap back to our main character and Control G. But thanks to that one person, and you know, a few other people as well, I found out that apparently there's a subset of you guys who just like listening to what I have to say, whatever stupid stuff I have to mention in a video, which is a very strange feeling for me, because I never really thought anybody would watch my videos because, I don't know, I was entertaining. Most of the DD series that I've done, most of the Quest for Completion, has been a kind of just a walkthrough disguised as a playthrough, or has been a guide disguised as a walkthrough. I don't know how to describe it. Basically, I thought the only reason anybody would watch my videos is because they contained information that was valuable. Like when I started the Quest for Completion, nobody, well, not nobody, but there weren't like any really good videos on how to progress on YouTube. It was just a bunch of videos by like, well, not by Theorin, sorry, I apologize, I'm not going to pronounce the name correctly. It wasn't a bunch of videos by him, but it was similar, where it's people with like a ton of event items and like 10 kajillion stats being like, hey, here's me doing this map on the hardest difficulty in like 10 seconds flat with the craziest build that you have ever seen. How do you do it? You just have a gajillion stats and event items. How do you get those? I saw too many of those back in the day, and I got pissed off because like I couldn't follow those, and I thought, well, okay, well, somebody needs to fill in the gap for the videos. Somebody needs to like actually make content so people know how to progress if they're new to the game without having to go to the Discord. So that's what I did. And the reason that I did it the way that I did it is, or the reason that I did it through YouTube, is because the whole inspiration, one of the biggest inspirations I had, and that got me into playing Dungeon Defenders, was a guy called Onite Pineberries. What are you doing up here? And Onite Pineberries, he did a series on YouTube on Dungeon Defenders, his own little Quest for Completion that was sadly never completed. He didn't die or anything. I'm pretty sure he became like a doctor or something. He finished school of some sort. And also, I don't think he had that much interest in DD1. He pretty quickly jumped into Dungeon Defenders 2. But either way, that's why the series exists. And that's why, what's it called? That's why the series exists. And there was something else I had in my mind. I apologize. This is an extras video. It's not going to be super edited. So if I like make I don't know, I fumbled my words as I am now, I apologize, but you know, there will be a live video in case you want to follow along sometime soon. I still haven't started recording the live video. I'm thinking right after I finish this and I test out a survival build for this map, I'm going to record the live video. But until then, you get to deal with my rambling, like, lunatic explanations for why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. You can see there's a lot of heroes on the map and enemies, but the beauty of this build is that it relies a lot on you just running around, or doesn't, I guess it doesn't rely on it, but it is helped out a lot by you just running around and doing things. Oh, hold on. Very, very quickly, up here. This gas trap, this is going to sound strange. You probably want to upgrade this gas trap for one specific reason. You see that effective duration? In a couple of my past attempts, I've had problems where I just, like, not because it's an issue with the build, more so it's an issue with me. I just forget to go up there and kill the enemies. And because of that, they just stack up and eventually they go through and like a kobold will ignite right here and just straight to the crystal. So to avoid that, either have high enough stats or just upgrade this so it has a high enough max duration. And just remember to go over there every like few minutes. Only important on the boss wave. For waves before the boss, not so important. Also, you're going to notice a lot of the time that heroes will get stuck in stupid spots, like over there, pretty frequent. Down underneath, inside this rock, I guess inside this cave, also pretty frequent. Underneath here, pretty frequent. Just a lot of places where enemies get stuck. Actually, let's cover everything. Let me cover everything. Over here, pretty much every time, there will be a Jin or a couple of Jins stuck up here, and they're jackasses. They're jackasses not because they get stuck, but because when you kill them, you can't pick up their mana. Let me demonstrate. When I kill this guy, his mana just gets stuck there. It sucks. But then over here on this pumpkin, you might get a spider stuck. All the way over here, you can get, as you saw previously, a Skoger can get stuck up there. But you can also get a spider stuck up, not stuck up, but stuck right here. Pretty frequently, actually, a spider will get stuck over there. Where else? Over yonder towards the left side crystal, where these Skogers come from. This right here, hotspot for the Skycopters. Usually 1 to 2 of them stuck there forever. Never moving and always causing me infinite pain and misery. What else is there? I think that's pretty much all the stuck spots that I know of. But if you're, you know, if you're just going to be running around the map, following the completion as I am, those are the places to watch out for. Specifically here, big danger town, because if you're going through this area, which you probably will be at some point in the future, the Skycopters deal a lot of damage, and it only takes like a couple of shots for them to kill you. Oh, hold on. Inside this pumpkin, no matter what, there's always a mage stuck inside the pumpkin. And they last for so long stuck inside there, as you saw by that guy, they just die naturally till like hard lock feature, I guess. Basically, if enemies are alive for too long, they'll just die automatically. But yeah, the waves go by fairly fast. They'll go by faster if you actually DPS and run around properly. But it's whatever. Quick things I should mention about the build. I mean, you can all know, you can all witness this. You're aware of this probably, but this is not a this is not really a good build. It is an abomination. I'm sure, you know, you've all seen me make builds in the past. I don't think any build I've made in the past, not even the like what is it called, Portal Defense 500 stat Ascension back in Redux, I don't think any build comes close to the level of just disgustingness that this one does. But this one is, you know, it works. And the only reason that I'm doing it in this specific way is because I'm doing this on 4-player difficulty. I think if you were doing this with a single-player difficulty, which you should, by the way, I'll explain why in a second. But if you were doing this on a single-player difficulty, the bosses don't have, like, that much health, and you could just take all their aggro and then just kill them within, you know, a very short time frame. But I'm not. Oh, by the way, careful of those mages. If you get near them like I did there, like an idiot, they might mana bomb, and I think that could probably destroy all your archer and mage minions. And it'll also damage your towers pretty well. Also, it'll take away like a third of your, or maybe even a half of your HP. For the final wave, are we there? We're nearly there. You need to have at least, if you're doing this build, and I would recommend, honestly, I would recommend doing this build, but if you're going to do this build, I would recommend having at least, or not even recommend, I think it's required to have at least one other hero. And that's for a very simple reason. Boss aggro. Basically, I mean, I'll show you in a second here, but we're going to be dealing with the bosses in unique ways. That's why these reflection beams are placed where they are. So I'm going to be bringing in, is it you? Yes, Jovi. Make sure one of the heroes you're bringing in has a fairy. I'm bringing in this guy because he's got a fairy and an apprentice. And because this map sucks and its rewards are god-awful and there's no, like, character specific, it's just you either get a monk weapon or a melee weapon. It doesn't matter what characters you bring in, which is why I'm going to be bringing in literally just like a bunch of summoners, 2 summoners and a, what is it called? What is the name? What is your name? Sorry, Phasmophobia. Warden, yes. There you go. And the Warden can just sit out there and die over time. So the reason that we place these characters up here and the Warden down there, Warden is just because I don't care about it. These characters are actually because they take aggro from the Barbarian. So what'll happen is the Barbarian will roll up in here, you know, swagger full maximum, and then he'll be like, oh, there's people up here. and then he'll try to kill them, but then he can't. So then they just live forever. But the snowman will occasionally do these massive AoE attacks, and those AoE attacks, they might cause some issue for you. Namely, the AoEs deal a little bit of chip damage every single time, and that might, given enough time, that might end up killing your heroes up there, which is why you want to have at least one of them with a fairy pet. But other than that, it's, I mean, you'll see during the boss fight, but it is actually a fairly simple and easy process. Only, like, super, well, not risky, but the only thing I'd say to really watch out for is that Jins over here, sometimes Jins will be jackasses over here. They might take down this reflector, and if you're really unlucky, they might take down the gas trap or the slow, or not the gas trap, the slow aura or the weaken aura. But I haven't seen that happen in a while, so I'm just going to assume that it won't happen. And by the way, look at this, Ogre, they die really fast. But when the bosses are alive, they take a lot longer, and they might actually damage the towers. Also, again, Mecha Weapon. By the way, look at the weapon rewards that we're getting on the map. Like, ultimates, it feels very strange to be getting, like, ultimate weapons. Not as, like, map rewards, or as, like, you know, during the survival wave, like, 30 whatever. Just to be getting them, you know, during the campaign. It's very strange. It leads me... Sorry if you can hear the chair noises. It leads me to believe that this map has very high loot quality. Anyways, I'm going to wait until the the ability cooldowns are up to skip a timer. But you're going to be sitting here. You're going to let the, You're going to let the snowman naturally aggro to these towers over here, but he's not going to throw any balls, so it won't matter. The barbarian will aggro here, so he won't matter. And then this snowman over here, you will have him aggro. You will sit over here, and he'll be stuck on the crystal, and you're good. Anyways, going to start out with a tower boost, and then we're going to swap to a hero boost, and then basically every time a cooldown goes off, we're going to swap from one cooldown to the other. So, starting out with a defense boost. You can see right here, by the way, those reflections putting in work. The DPS from the towers is actually fairly considerable. Like, it's a good amount of DPS when you have these. Granted, it's still not worth bringing in an extra 2 characters, but, like, you know, it's pretty good. Also, I found in the past that this area specifically tends to just struggle a lot, so I'm not entirely confident that this is going to be the smoothest thing, especially if you have lower stats, but it'll probably be fine. Anyways, our defense boost was getting a little costly, so now we're swapping over to the hero boost. And the moment that our defense boost is off cooldown, we're going to activate it and disable our hero boost. And every time you see an ogre in the background, might not be necessary, honestly, with this placement, but I would recommend DPSing them now. But as you can see, the snowmen go down pretty damn easily. And they don't really deal that much damage to your towers either, so it's a fairly nice and easy process. Also, I'm pretty sure the reason that crystal over there on the left is like so A-okay perfectly fine is because of the fact that, if I remember correctly, the only ogres, like proper ogres that spawn are from this side over here, and they can't really get to your towers. Anyways, sit behind here, and hero boost, and tower boost, and, you know, alternate between the two, and kill the snowman. Like, it is seriously just this easy. It's kind of shocking. How is our warden still alive? I'm quite impressed by that. One slight negative. Oh, by the way, here's my gear and stats. I didn't show that. One slight negative of this location is that sometimes I think you might have to jump for your tower boost to reach your towers up there, or go backwards a little bit, which means that your snowman isn't going to be attacking. I don't know if it's worth it, considering these guys aren't being boosted by guardians. So honestly, it might be better to just stay over here and keep your hero boost going as long as you reasonably can. You can see on that right side crystal that things are kind of going to hell. That's pretty frequent. The right side crystal is kind of always in a rough patch. But I think with the placement that we have and with the 2 booster summoners going at it, it should be fine. It should be fine. Anyways, fun fact, the campaign for this map, I apologize if I'm reiterating stuff, but the campaign for this map is literally worthless. It's just done to unlock the survival. And the survival for this map we're doing to unlock a better pet. As much as I like the snowman, he has one issue. Range. Like, sure, this is pretty nice, but the pet that we get from the survival of this map has, like, I don't know if it's double the range, but it certainly feels like double the range. And that will make a pretty big difference for us. for Tomb of Etheria. Not in terms of the difficulty, to be honest, because I didn't really have problems with the difficulty in Tomb of Etheria, but more so in terms of the quality of life. Having that extra range on the pet with similar DPS to the Snowman will make Tomb of Etheria a lot more bearable. Also, I just want to have the Snowman and the Eye of Devastation, and also Chiku said that the skeleton on a treadmill drops from here, and it drops like with good stats. So like, you know, I got a lot of reasons to be here, basically. Anyways, now that the Snowman is done for, this area over on the right is perfectly fine, meaning we can go ahead and aggro this bad boy. So, do not stand in front of this man. Do not attempt to beef with him super hard. He will win. If he does a Hawk stance on you, Hawk Tua, you're done for. It's over. You are done for. Seriously. He does so much damage just regularly that I know for a fact, like, there's no way you're surviving his Hawk stance. Right now, he's... Yeah, there we go. He's not aggroed on me because I haven't dealt enough damage. But, there we go. He is now aggroed on me. One quick thing I'll mention. If you leave him alone and you don't have something damaging him fairly consistently, he will kind of just regain all of his HP. He'll heal the same way that you might, except he heals like 100 million HP a second. So you do want to keep up the pressure on him. If you can, you know, and if you can, try to get him over on that side, and you can occasionally tower boost, but I mean, even this, eventually we will whittle him down, and we don't really have to worry about anything else going down. Like I said, it is a not the most efficient, but most certainly it is a safe build that will get you a complete. I really would like for him to just go in a little bit more, if he can. I really want to get him into that area over there. No, stop that. Look at that. 1 second, not even a second of me looking away, and he gained like millions of health. Okay, there we go. I think I have his aggro now properly. So I'd like to pull him into this area, maybe. Maybe, please. Or he's just going to sit in this doorway the entire time. Whatever. But, I mean, you can see everything else is fine. And, you know, just make sure that all your auras are repaired and do a quick tower boost on all the major areas before you go for the Barbarian. And you should have far more than enough time to deal with him. But, 4-player difficulty... oh my god, what is that noise? 4-player difficulty, that is the entire map done, or the entire campaign done, and we can finally do the survival. Don't look at that. Here's the weapons that you get. You either get the Devil's Spine 50-50 between that and Demon Sword. But they're, I'm gonna be honest, they're both kind of bad. And then you get 4 accessories, but the accessories are also like, I haven't seen a single good accessory. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah. It's pretty neat, right? Now I'm gonna go ahead and try and find some AFK armor farm / pet farm builds for this map on the survival, and then once that's done, I'll start recording the DDLive Quest for Completion episode 10. Yes, we're gonna start out with this, guaranteed. But anyways, thank you all for watching the extras video. This one will be staying up on the channel. It won't be getting unlisted. But it will still be part of the Quest for Completion Extras playlist. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in episode 10.